bones because you're excreting calcium. The caffeine diuretic in 60 minutes come into play. It is now assured that you'll evacuate the bonded calcium and magnesium. But here's the last part, 60 minutes. As the rave inside you dies down, you'll start to have a sugar crash. You may become irritable and or sluggish. You also now literally peed away all the water in you that was in the Coke. Here's the reason I put the can of Coke there. And I love soda. Trust me, I've had to fight drinking soda. But it's one of the biggest calamities for young people today. It's a big cause of why we have diabetes. It's a big cause of why we have obesity. But here's the thing I really want you to get about drinking Coke. But it's not only true about a natural soda, but it's also true about spiritual things. When you drink a Coke, just because you're done drinking the Coke doesn't mean the thing you've drunk is done with you. Same way when you listen to gossip. Same way when you listen to negative things. Just because you say, okay, I heard that, but I put it out of my mind, it doesn't mean it's done with you. And see, when you feed kids all kinds of sugar and all kinds of other things, you may think you fed them. But it gets to working on their bodies in ways you won't know till later when it begins to weaken them. And this is going to be hard, okay? Sometimes the people that feed you the most drugs are the ones that live right with you. And as a child, you have to grow up and make decisions and say, this is not good for me. I know this is what they gave me growing up, but this is just literally a can full of sugar that's going to cause death, ultimately.
Amen.
And see, we don't like to hear that. We don't like to hear the truth. We don't want to know that what we put in our children and we put in ourselves, whether it's Coke, whether it's gossip, whether it's entertainment that we spend too much time with, that ultimately you think when you've watched something and you turn off the TV that it's done. It ain't done with you. Because it's going to work its way through your mind, through your thoughts, your whole consciousness. And then you wonder, why don't I have faith? Why don't I have commitment? Why can't I be consistent? It's because everything you take in becomes a part of you. So I'm glad you picked that. And I'm going to hook you up afterwards because you picked the Bible and the water. And you ended up with the Coke. I'm going to keep the Coke. I'm not going to let you have that. I'm going to toss that out. All right? Thank you very much. And your dad's proud of you, too.
And mom.
And mom. Can't forget mom. All right. Rachel. So you went and you gave up what you had and you chose the water and the Bible. Why?
Because I like water more than I like soda.
You like water. That's a good thing. All right. Would you have chosen the water if it didn't have the Bible with it?
Yes.
All right. You know why I put the water and Bible together? Because the Bible often refers to the Word as what? Water. And what do water and the Word have in common? It fills you up. It also cleanses you. Water ends up helping your liver and everything to excrete a lot of the toxins you take in. But it not only does that, but here's another thing most people don't know about water. Anybody ever been to a gym and seen people who work out a lot? What do they carry with them? 80% of your muscle is water. Water from the Word and natural water are necessary to build muscle. Without it, you can't build muscle. And so the more that you drink water and the more that you exercise the Word, the more spiritual and natural muscle you build. And so you have to keep that in mind. Now, I have one of my favorite scriptures. You see that little tab at the end of the Bible? Open up to that. That's one of my favorite scriptures. You got to read it for me.
Oh, Rachel.
In the Word, there's even more money. What I'm trying to get you to understand is there's a value to reading the Word. Read Psalm 1 for me. That's one of my favorite. Use your mic, and we're going to close.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
But his delight, keep going.
His delight is in the law of the Lord.
And in his law,
doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doth shall prosper.
I'm going to tell you something, Rachel. If you memorize only that scripture and live that, you will be a powerful lady.
Amen.
I love that scripture because you notice that all throughout that scripture, walk through that whole scripture, it never even mentions God. It talks about how great you'll be just by avoiding negative people, by not hanging around the wrong persons. So then when you have God added to the mix, you then go even further. But the understanding is that if you avoid negative things, then you put yourself in a whole great place. And what I love about that tree planted by the river of water, when a tree is planted by water, its roots automatically go down and go towards the riverbed. So even when there's a drought, it still has a source of water. So when everything else dries up, it still has the source because it ties into the river. You can keep the $5.
Amen.
Just read my Bible. Let's give our students a hand. I hope you enjoyed that. I wanted you to see visually how we're able to avoid a lot of the things that take us away from being successful. It'd be nice to look at Jeremiah and just say, I know the thoughts that I have for you. But we have to understand why Jeremiah had to write it in the first place. It's because the people didn't do what they were supposed to. So God allowed them to go into captivity and he delivered them. Yes, God will deliver you from captivity, deliver you and give you deliverance from the things that may take over your life. But here's the key. If you can avoid captivity altogether, you'll be that much stronger. Amen?
Amen.
Let's give the Lord a hand praise. Let's stand. I'm done.